everybody and welcome back to another Osprey's Gaming video. Today I'll be doing something a little bit different. Today I'll be going on a political kind of live stream-esque thing. This isn't live streamed in case you're watching this at a future date, but what I'm saying is that today I will be looking at what if the Patriot Party runs in 2024, and by that I mean what if Donald Trump actually does end up and going and goes and forms his own party. Well, obviously this is looking less and less likely to happen. I know it was quite a popular theory that this would happen, prediction that this would happen back in January, February, as times people were like, oh, well, Trump's going to go and form his own party. It looks a little less likely now. But basically, what if it does? And I tried to look at the Republicans who would actually join his side. Ron DeSantis would. Mike Pence probably wouldn't. So for that ticket, I put Trump DeSantis. For the just normal Republican one, I put just Republicans who don't really endorse him. So there's Romney and Haley. They would not join the Patriot Party. I'm just going to call it the Patriot Party. I think there's the America First Party and stuff like that. But I'm not going to call it that. Then there's also Biden-Harris for the Democratic Party. So, first of all, this is a 2024 map I've got here, so I'm going to just categorize all the states, which I'm not going to do the margins here because that would just take way too much time, and since it's a three-way race, that would be incredibly complicated. But I'm just going to do every single state which I think would vote for Biden-Harris in this. Now, this is mainly because it's a it's a three-way race, and then you've got the two conservative parties. So the Democrats would do very, very well in this. So they get 413 right off the bat. And I'm just going to be going through the Republican states. So these ones all here, I'd say, are pretty firmly Republican. But I'm going to go over them and which way they go. Democrats are going to pick up a lot of these. So I'll go from east to west to east, actually. Alaska would go Democratic easily in this scenario. You see, Lisa Murkowski, Alaska has gone firmly more Democratic in recent years, so it's obviously not favorable of the Patriot Party. I don't really think that Lisa Murkowski would be able to get this over to the Republicans. I think that it would go Democratic by a +5 margin. Not safe, but it would go by a +5, definitely. Next, we have Idaho. Now, Idaho was actually quite tricky for me, but I ended up just putting it to Romney-Haley very narrowly. You have seen it go blue in the past elections by, I think it's less than 1% each time, but, it's not going red, so that means that maybe it does like the Trump-DeSantis wing, but I still just don't really think it'll go towards them. So next we have the Utah. Utah would be one of the closest states in this whole thing. However, I do think that it would go Democratic. Go Democratic, and that is basically what we've seen is it's been really weird in Utah recently because obviously back with Mitt Romney, he was a Mormon, and they obviously voted for him in droves. And then in 2016, we had Evan McMullin, and then that kind of split the Republican vote. Trump still won it by a +15 margin, but, he made an impact there. People were speculating that Utah would be less than 15 points. I think 538 projected that Trump would win it by less than 15 points in 2020. That never happened. Utah shifted 2.2 points to the right. I'm still putting Utah as a Democratic state, though. Next, we have Montana. Montana would go blue, I'd say. Narrowly, obviously. Not as narrow as Utah, but still quite narrow. Not much to say on this one, really. I think it's just been kind of middle-of-the-road states for which way it's been leaning in from 2012 to 2016, and then from 16 to 20. Next, we've got Wyoming. I think Trump DeSantis would actually carry Wyoming. I don't really have much to say about that. But what I do have a lot to say about is the Dakotas, and both of them going for Trump DeSantis. That is because back in, Obama days, I know Obama won in a sort of landslide light, a small landslide, but he got, North Dakota and South Dakota to less than 10 points, and Trump was really able to ramp up the base there. I think North Dakota went from 2012 to 2016 by +15, completely shifting towards the Republicans, and that's one of their top states. South Dakota, yes, the same to a lesser extent. But yeah, they definitely have a more favorable rating of Trump DeSantis than of the Patriot Party than the Republicans. Now we've got Nebraska's districts and Nebraska at large. So first of all, Nebraska third, yeah, that would go Patriot Party. Not much to say about that. It's just very rural. I think they'd be able to win that. Nebraska first is quite easy. Yeah, that's Democratic. That has gone. That went to Biden by about. No, it went to Trump, but it went to Trump by less than 15 points. So yeah, that would definitely go to Biden. But next we have Nebraska's just at large. Now, this is quite difficult, but people are downplaying this. I've seen in a lot of ones. This video, by the way, is kind of a evolution of the Political Chatters video, which came out today or yesterday, I don't know. But basically, yeah, he put this as red, and I've just seen a lot of people thinking, Nebraska's not a particularly Democratic state. I know, but a lot of people have also not been putting Nebraska as a Democratic state in these three-way races. And I just think that's kind of weird. No, Nebraska will go Democratic in this scenario. Next, we have Kansas. Now, Kansas... Oh, sorry about the technical error on your screen just there. Yeah, I think YPMS is a bit of a pain. But here we got Kansas. Yeah, Kansas Democratic. Easy. I've seen a lot of people still put this as red, and I just can't reiterate enough. This has not been put in the news enough. People have not been talking about Kansas nearly as much as they need to. But basically... Kansas is shifting blue, not by a massive amount, it's not a Texas, it's not an Arizona, it's not a Georgia, but Kansas is shifting blue. It shifted blue in 2016, yeah, so a lot of random states shifted blue in 2016. But what's really weird is Kansas voted Democratic. Well, no, it still voted Republican, but it went by a much larger margin than a lot of states. Like Missouri, the rule is that Missouri is more Democratic than Kansas. Well, not in this one, pal. Same with Indiana, not as blue as Kansas. Kansas is shifting blue. Not majorly substantially, but it is, and we need to take that into consideration. Kansas would go blue, yes. Next we have Oklahoma. Oklahoma would probably go Romney-Haley. This is another Idaho type one where I really don't know which way it'll go. But I'd probably be kind of safe in saying that it would go Romney-Haley. Honestly, yeah, that's not much to say about that. But what I have stuff to say about is Missouri. Yeah, Missouri would go Democratic, obviously. Yeah, this went to Trump by barely 15 points. He did manage to get it by a safe margin, which is actually really good for Trump. Most people expected it to go by a likely margin. But no, it went safe. Trump did quite well there. However, definitely not enough to get it to the Patriot Party or anything like that. Kansas and Missouri are relatively tight right now. Next we have Arkansas. Now, Arkansas is not going to go Democratic. I think it will go Trump DeSantis. Basically, in every single election since 1996, maybe even since 1992, I don't even know, but Arkansas has been shifting substantially right every single time. Every single election, Arkansas has just got redder and redder and redder. I have my reasons for this, obviously, but the main things with Arkansas is, yeah, they are not going to go blue. So I think they'd go Trump DeSantis. I'm not really sure. This is another Oklahoma-esque type one, but I just think it's going to go there. But another thing I have is kind of Kansas type one is Louisiana. Not that it's shifting blue. It's not. It's staying about the same. I'm not even sure. It's probably going more Republican now. But not. But people aren't really talking about it. People are saying, even in these mega landslides for Democrats, no, Louisiana isn't going to go blue. Yes, it would in something like this. And this situation here is incredibly improbable. Third party of Trump of the Patriot Party is probably never going to happen. But if it did happen, yes, Louisiana would be going blue. Not much to say about that, but it would, yes. It's been going blue under red by under 20 points. Just because it's not a likely state, it's not really been in the news about, oh, no, Louisiana is definitely not competitive. And it's not competitive in the slightest until you get it down to this level. Yes, it would be one of the closest states. Another one which is like this is Mississippi. Now, Mississippi did go likely in 2008 and 2012. I think it actually, along with Louisiana, shifted. It was one of the few states to shift blue from 2008 to 2012. But yeah, Mississippi would go blue in this scenario. I think a lot of people are projecting that. Most people projected it to go likely for Trump back in 2020. It didn't. It still got safe. Trump did well there. Next we have Alabama. Yeah, the South seems to really like Trump DeSantis. I have to put this as a Patriot state. Yeah, Alabama red. Not much to say about that. Another southern one, kind of like Arkansas, although, yeah, it's been less shifting to the right. It was always just more of a Republican state anyway. But what I am going to say is Indiana. Now, I've kind of been at war with Indiana because it went blue in 2008 for some bizarre reason. When Missouri and Montana didn't, Indiana somehow did, and then it just decided, you know what, that was a one-trick pony. I'm going straight back to the Republican Party, and recently it's been going, it's been going red since 15 points. Now, what I'm saying is, if Pence wasn't on the ballot, Indiana would be a less than 15 points Republican state. It wouldn't go Democratic by any means. It would probably be more of like a lesser Ohio, Iowa type thing. It would still be shifting right, but definitely not to the extent with which we've seen it. It's been a lot more polarized recently. So yeah, Indiana would definitely go blue in this landslide. What I am going to talk about is Kentucky. And when I say I'm going to talk about it, I don't, because I'm going to put it as a Romney-Haley state, but I don't really know why. I just think it would. Kentucky. Yeah, I'm not going to elaborate on that. What I am going to elaborate on is Tennessee. Now, I think Tennessee would probably be the narrowest state in the entire race, but I am going to put it blue. And that is because Tennessee went red by under 25 points, and people are saying on other people doing these three-party races are putting it like that, putting it Democratic, so I'm just going to say the same. Another one, much more obvious than Tennessee, even Indiana, Mississippi, Louisiana, is South Carolina. Yeah, South Carolina would definitely go blue in this scenario. Not much to say here. It's Alaska. It's like Alaska. It's going under 15 points. The final one I have is West Virginia. Yes, that would go Trump DeSantis. Now, the reason for this is because West Virginia, with all the coal workers and stuff, I guess the the main reason why Trump came to power, there were many reasons, but one of the main ones is that the Republicans were trying to appeal more to, minority voters and stuff like that, and they were gaining a lot of more centrist, if not liberal, policies on stuff like climate change. West Virginia is more into the coal mining stuff. The Patriot Party would probably be supporting them with that. Yes, they'd vote for the Patriot Party in droves, probably more so than Wyoming, actually. They'd be probably the most polarized state in the entire election if you don't count the Democratic ones. And that's where we have it, yeah. 490 for Biden, 19 for the Republicans, and 29 for the Patriot Party. So yes, the Patriot Party would do better than the Republicans. That's not surprising. 66% of Republicans say that they would vote for a Trump again. They're more favorable rating of him. So that's the end. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.